Tonight on Carolina News, Michael Flynn resigns as National Security Advisor after suspicions of his communication with Russia hits the fan. Find out what one South Carolina senator had to say.
I just dumped the stuff, walked away and forgot about it.
Congaree cleanup. Last night, a public meeting was held for the community to voice their opinion about SC&G's plan to clean up the pollution. But is SC&G's solution good enough? Galentine's Day. All the single ladies gathered for a night of wine, crafts, and fun. But just how did this event come about? Carolina News starts now.
Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on Carolina News.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Princess Ruff.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bryan Solomon.
We're only about a month away from Donald Trump's presidency, but his administration is already feeling a pretty big shakeup. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigned Monday night after reports of communication with the Russian ambassador prior to the president's inauguration surfaced. Our Jada Williams is in the newsroom with more, including reaction from a big-name politician in the Palmetto State.
That's right, Princess. Bryan. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham addressed the controversy today. Never one to stray away from being vocal, Graham is urging a more in-depth investigation into General Flynn's conversation.
I don't know if we'll ask him to testify, but the first thing I want to know is what were the conversations about? I'm having to comment on things I have no direct knowledge of. So if there are transcripts of communications between General Flynn and the Russian ambassador about waiving sanctions, that's something I want to know about because I do think that's something that Congress should be informed of.
We learned Monday night that the White House was warned that Michael Flynn was not upfront about his involvement with Russia, a potential conflict of interest. Michael Flynn's abrupt departure and the circumstances surrounding it raised questions for many, regardless of party lines.
We need to dig to the bottom of it and find out what really happened.
Michael Flynn was acting in a way that was inappropriate.
The conversation took place after President Obama sanctioned Russia for their alleged involvement in the 2016 election. While Flynn initially denied that the sanctions were discussed in the phone call, multiple intelligence officials said otherwise.
I could imagine if the shoe were on the other foot, that if the Obama administration were reaching out to Iraq or Iran to change Bush policy before they got in office, we'd be all pretty upset.
Now many Democrats are asking for stronger action from Congress.
Speaker Bryan, Jason Chaffetz, Devin Nunes, where is your spine? Where is your patriotism? Do you care about our national security? Because if you do, you cannot sweep this under the rug. You cannot turn and look the other way. You guys have the power within the Congress to investigate all of these entanglements, and I beg you to stand up and do what's right for the country.
The president maintains that while Flynn violated trust, he did not violate the law. The controversy has only strengthened suspicions regarding President Trump's relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin. As of now, Keith Kellogg has assumed the role of acting National Security Advisor until the administration can find a replacement. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jada. Welcome to the State House. A massive hole in the state pension system is in desperate need for a fix. Lawmakers have a proposal to begin to fix the $20 billion problem. In 2000, there was 10% more funding available to pay state pensions, but computers and other technology costs, increasing retirement rates, and increased lifespans have drained the funds. The proposal suggests raising employee contribution rates to the pension fund from 8.66% to 9%, while raising employer contribution rates by 1% every year for the next 5 years. The proposal will also shorten the amount of time to pay off the unfunded debt from 30 years to 20 years. Representatives report that there is no quick or good fix, but they will not draw from current pensions to pay off the debt.
The weather was a little cool last night, but I hear it will start to feel like spring soon. Weather reporter Michelle Zhu has more. Michelle, how's it look out there?
Well, Bryan and Princess, I'm happy to say it's a beautiful day out here. The sun is out. It's not too hot, not too cold. We've got a light breeze going. Perfect day for Valentine's Day. I'll have a full forecast coming up later in the show. Back to you guys in the studio.
The heating and air conditioning company Trane Commercial announced that their Columbia facility will move 250 jobs later this year. The jobs will be added as a result of the closing of the company's residential heating, ventilation, and air conditioning manufacturing facility in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Jobs will also be moved to Trane's other facilities in Florida, Georgia, and Texas.
19 illegal immigrants were arrested in South Carolina by immigration agents. The arrests were part of an operation in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia that resulted in 190 illegal immigrants taken into custody. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials say 127 of the 190 had prior criminal convictions and 29 had previously been deported from the U.S.
The Sandusky name is back in the news again for what seems to be a recurring reason. Jeffrey Sandusky, the adopted son of convicted child rapist and former Penn State football coach Jerry Sandusky, was arrested yesterday and faces counts including soliciting sex from a child under age 16 and soliciting child pornography. The investigation began back in November after a child reportedly received a text from Sandusky asking them to send nude photos. His father is currently serving prison time for 45 counts of sexual abuse. Bail for Jeffrey Sandusky is set for $200,000 and has a hearing scheduled Wednesday.
2 people have been arrested in connection to the murder of KKK leader Frank Ancona. Ancona's wife Melissa and her son Paul Jenkerson were charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence on Monday. Ancona became a suspect in the murder after giving conflicting information. Police say that Ancona wanted her husband dead after he asked for a divorce. The mother and son are being held within bond in Missouri.
The Netflix series Making a Murder is making headlines today. In August, a judge overturned Daisy's life sentence, and today, Dassey defends that ruling in a federal appeals court. Dassey was found guilty in 2007 for helping his uncle, Stephen Avery, rape and murder a photographer in Wisconsin. Netflix created the series based on Avery's wrongful rape conviction in 1985 and is arrested for the 2007 rape and murder. He is currently serving a life sentence and plans to pursue his own appeal.
Earlier this month, Carolina News talked with riverkeeper Bill Stangler about the coal tar cleanup process in the Congaree River. During the conversation, Bill stressed his concerns about the lack of opportunities for the public to engage with the issue. Last night, the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Concerns, also known as DHEC, held a public meeting to discuss how to deal with the pollution in the Congaree River. Brendan Knapp has the story.
Tensions ran high last night at DHEC's Congaree River meeting.
I think what we're hearing is that ultimately this river will not be safe for the public to enjoy.
The meeting was called to allow for public input on SCE&G's plan to deal with the toxic coal tar they spilled in the river. DHEC spokesperson Ken Taylor tried to convince the audience of the merits of leaving the coal tar in the river and placing a cap over top of it.
Our role is to make sure whatever's done is going to be the safest thing for public health and the environment.
The public, including Congaree Riverkeeper Bill Stangler, remained skeptical.
When I see a sheen on the water above a plume of coal tar, that suggests to me that there is some entering the water.
The audience grew more irate as a DHEC spokeswoman was unable to answer technical questions.
Our expert in that subject matter is not with us tonight. He has another commitment.
If I can make it from the state of Virginia to be down here, they can be here because they're right around the street.
They just dumped the stuff, walked away and forgot about it, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is
now we're supposed to trust you to have good faith here.
Some audience members began to storm out of the building.
South Carolina Electric and Gas in 1937.
In the end, the public could only plead with the largely unresponsive DHEC representatives.
In my opinion, it's best to just take it out.
We're the ones who are going to have to be bearing the brunt of this decision for the years to come. I think we got to get it out somehow. I really don't see any other option.
South Carolinians made sure to voice their opinions on the protection of their river. Only time will tell if those voices were heard. With Carolina News, I'm Brandon Knapp.
After such an overwhelming negative response at the meeting, DHEC officials say that they will be setting up another meeting with the public in the near future. Coming up next, a group of women have found a new way to celebrate Galentine's Day. Next on Carolina News.
Today marks the first day of the student government elections, and candidates were out in full force on Green Street doing some last-minute campaigning. Positions are open for student body president, vice president, treasurer, and senate. Also appearing on the ballot this year is a referendum to amend the student government constitution. Voting is open through tomorrow night at 5 p.m. You can vote online at my.sc.edu or on campus at the Strom Fields, Thomas Cooper Library, or in the Leadership and Service Center.
Valentine's Day is filled with love, romance, and also money. The National Retail Federation projects that in the U.S. alone, consumers will spend about $18 billion this year on the celebration of love. The NRF says that $4 billion of that will be spent on jewelry, followed by another $2 billion for flowers. Other expenses include cards, candy, and of course, a nice dinner out. The average consumer is set to spend a record $137 this year alone. We all know today is Valentine's Day, but have you ever heard of Galentine's Day? Our Danielle Williams has more about this emerging holiday.
February 14th, Valentine's Day, is about romance. But February 13th, Galentine's Day, is about celebrating lady friends.
Oh, it's only the best day of the year.
Galentine's Day was a holiday that was created by character Leslie Knope 7 years ago on the hit TV show Parks and Recreation. It's a day when ladies leave their significant others at home and just, kick it. Flying Saucers manager Brandy Hagman decided to give the holiday a try and hosted the sold-out ticketed event.
Overall, I think it was just a lot of fun. It was a good time to take a different look at Valentine's Day and celebrate friendship and beer and fun and painting.
Groups of friends took advantage of the event to celebrate womanhood.
So all of us have kind of gelled together as a group in the last 6 months or so. And then, with the political climate lately, all of us ladies are banding together a lot more. So it feels good to celebrate women.
For others, it was a time to spend with their best friends, who are, after all, your soulmates.
I'm more outgoing, and she's more kept to herself, and that's been the way it has been since always. She's left-handed, I'm right-handed. We kind of complete each other.
Galentine's Day was filled with craft brew, food, painting, but most importantly, female friendship. An event Leslie Knope would most definitely approve of. Danielle Williams, Carolina News.
Those girls love their friends, but this family extends their love to kids.
A Kershaw County couple has a very unique and big family. The Melvilles and Lugoff have become all-stars for the Department of Social Services, as they have fostered 50 kids and adopted 7, while also having 4 biological children in the last 12 years. They adopted their first child, Jocelyn, from Guatemala. She only spoke Spanish, but with her parents' guidance, she's working towards her GED and getting her life on track. They dealt with many different problems as each child came with a different set of circumstances.
They called us and asked us to take a 16-year-old, and we said we are not licensed for that age group, and we're not comfortable taking a teenager. And they said, well, she'll just be here the weekend. She's a runner. Well, she's running from abuse.
Cassie ended up staying more than the weekend and was adopted the next year. With state law now allowing families with no more than 8 children to foster kids, the Melvilles will now look to continue their work.
That's definitely a lot of children to keep up with. But thankfully, we have great weather, so hopefully that'll help getting them out of the house. Well, I'm pretty curious to see what's ahead for the weather. Let's go back to weather reporter Michelle on the Horseshoe. Michelle?
Like I said earlier, it's a really nice day out here just in time for Valentine's Day, but it won't last long because we do have rain coming our way. I'll tell you when next.
See the new gorillas and feed the giraffes at Riverbank Zoo, Columbia.
I like to volunteer for the Neighborhood Emergency Response Team to help the firefighters. As you know, I was Fireman of the Year 3 times.
You're Mariano Rivera.
Thank you.
Fireman of the Year is a baseball award.
Yes.
You're not actually a fireman.
No.
Fireman of the Year, huh?
Just a few more minutes.
When you help your neighbors, you help your nation. Make a difference. Volunteer. Learn how at usafreedomcorps.gov.
Severe weather has torn through eastern Texas this morning. While no injuries have been reported, several homes and buildings have been damaged. There were tornado warnings earlier in the day, but reports say that only one small tornado touched down in the region. By early afternoon, though, much of the bad weather has flown east of Houston.
I can only pray that we don't get anything that Texas has. So, Michelle,
Right.
please tell me that we're not going to get any of that.
Well, we won't be having weather quite as severe, but I can tell you we will be experiencing some rain. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Let's see what's going on currently in Columbia. We have some temperatures scattered throughout the state, pretty scattered. Let's go back to what's going on with the temperature right now. We're at 71 degrees. That's that really nice weather you've been feeling today. Humidity only at 30%. Winds blowing at 11 miles per hour. That's that light breeze you might feel outside. Temperatures throughout the state are pretty scattered. Not too bad on the coast. 71 in Charleston. You could take a visit out on the beach. 73 in Columbia. Really nice. And 67 up in Greenville. Nothing out of the ordinary. And that's going on because a high pressure front has already made its way past the East Coast, getting rid of those cool temperatures that we felt last week. But we're bringing in this low pressure, and along with that is the precipitation. That's all this green you see, which brought in the severe thunderstorms in Texas. But that will make its way across the southeast, and you'll see tomorrow that low pressure will made its way all the way to Georgia. And that will bring in a little bit of a precipitation on our end. I'll get more into that. But you'll see this high pressure coming in from the East Coast, and that will bring in cooler temperatures starting next week. To take a look at tonight's lows, pretty scattered. We have 58 in Hilton Head, 57 in Charleston, 52 in Columbia. And it'll be decreasing as we get closer to the upstate with 50 in Greenville. Take a look at tomorrow's highs. A little cooler than today, 70 in Charleston and Hilton Head, 65 in Columbia, not too bad, just a couple degrees lower than today, 60 in Greenville. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. There's that rain I've been talking about, 80% chance, so take your rain jacket out before you leave for the day. But the sun will come out for the rest of the week. We can welcome that outdoor weather for the baseball season opener. Looking forward to it.
Sounds
yeah.
good. Nothing like good sunny weather.
Yeah, you know I can't wait for that nice spring baseball games.
Oh yeah, I always look
Absolutely.
forward to that.
So, coming up on sports, we're going to talk about this player who is only a junior in high school but throwing down like that. Find out who this high school sensation is next.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna
You
be
ready?
good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on
I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
There's a monster in my bathtub. There's one on the couch. There's a monster on my bed.
Keep innocent things from triggering an asthma attack.
Please make the monsters go away.
Learn how to stop their asthma attacks at noattacks.org.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely cried myself to sleep last night after our Lady Gamecocks lost to UConn in a thrilling game.
Yeah, it was really
if I have to
sad.
say,
It was
yeah.
a tough game to watch, but history was made. In a Pat Gamble pavilion, the only thing that stood between history and the UConn Huskies were our Lady Gamecocks. We picked things up in the second quarter, play clock winding down, and USC's Bianca Cuevas gets ready for her three. Bang goes Cuevas from the three-point line. And then before the half, Cuevas throws the ball away. Nafia Collier is on the break, and she lays the ball in for two. UConn leads 35-29 going into the half. Late in the third quarter, USC trying to make a run. The Twin Towers, Wilson and Coach, are working hard down the paint as Coach cleans out Wilson's miss. UConn coming down. Crystal Dangerfield finds Gabby Williams on the low block for two. And from here on out, it's all UConn Huskies, as Collier takes the contact and finishes at the hole for the and one bucket. UConn makes history, and Gino Auriemma and his UConn Huskies win their 100th straight game. They beat the Gamecocks 66-55. Our women's and men's swimming and diving team are competing in the 2007 SEC Championships. It's a 5-day tournament that starts today and runs through Saturday. The coverage of the tournament can be found on the SEC Plus, and if you cannot find a TV set, you can have updates from Gamecock Swim on Twitter. Our softball team has dove headfirst into the start of their season. Over the weekend, our girls hosted the Carolina Classic, and they went undefeated on the season. Our ladies only let up one run, and in the last game of the weekend, freshman Kenzie Bozel drove home Kennedy Clark, and our Gamecocks walked off in the 7th inning to start their season 5-0. Head coach Beverly Smith thinks that the seniors are the heart of the Lady Gamecocks.
We are senior-led. We have 6 seniors this season. All of these seniors have been recruited to come change South Carolina softball, and they've done just that. So there's no vying for power. They're just great role models, leaders. They're mentors for the younger players, and I think they have the purpose of wanting to leave their fingerprints all over this program, and they're doing a great job of that.
The Lady Gamecocks' next game is against Texas at Texas. One of South Carolina's men's basketball players is receiving honors after posting 72 points and 25 rebounds in his last 2 games. Sindarius Thornwell has been named the SEC Player of the Week after playing lights out against Alabama and Mississippi State. The senior guard is coming off a 44-point game against the Crimson Tide. That's the first time ever a USC player has scored 40 points in over since 1986. Thornwell is looking to become the first USC player to win the SEC Player of the Year. You can catch Thornwell and the Gamecocks play tomorrow night at 6:30 in the Colonial Life Arena against Arkansas. Junior sensation from Spartanburg Day High School, Zion Williams is throwing down like a grown man. He looks NBA slam dunk ready. Take a look at Zion and transition throws down this nasty 360 windmill with authority. Looks even better in slow motion, full rotation, eyes right at the rim. And remember, he's only a junior. He still has 1 more year left for high school. Man, I wish I could get up like that. I'm 21, I can't get up like that.
That's
It's
amazing.
crazy.
360 windmill.
Yeah. Well, you know, he came here on a recruiting trip not too long ago, so maybe he'll be coming here
Well,
soon.
you never know. Well, this couple has been celebrating Valentine's Day for a while. Stick around to hear about their life together.
Adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, unless you have a small apartment. But if you have a little grass, get off your ass. Adopt a dog, adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, and you will have a bigger friend. Adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, give him a home he can defend.
This couple has been together for a long time. I think it's safe to say that they have had Valentine's Day figured out for a while. This is Robert Walker and Esther Doby, and they've been married for 75 years.
Tell him I give him a date if he'll get a suit and come to church. So I went and bought me a suit.
That was 75 years ago, and they're still going strong.
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you.
I don't know about you guys. That's the most adorable thing I've seen all day.
Maybe that'll be you and me someday.
I highly doubt it.
Well, so in that case, can we talk about something nicer, maybe the forecast?
Yeah, so like I said, that rain will be hitting us tomorrow at 80%, so really definitely grab your rain jackets before you head out for the day. But the sun will be coming out on Thursday, and the temperatures will be increasing throughout the week, so we can look forward to another warm weekend as we welcome those sports. So looking forward to it.
I'm
Great,
looking forward
bright,
to it.
shiny weekend.
Yep.
Great. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you tomorrow and have a great evening.